Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia. Let's talk books. Today I'm here to talk about a book called Lone Women. This is such a magnificent book. I have to say that I was emailed by the publisher and asked if I wanted to accept an eARC of it via NetGalley, which I did, and I am so glad that I did because it is a fantastic horror book by Victor LaValle. Now, I haven't read anything by this author before, but I've heard about his books, and I've been really interested in reading him. So I went ahead and immediately wanted to read this book. So the story follows Adelaide Henry. We start with her. She is in a large black town in California. At this time, is one of the few all black towns in California. And this is Lincoln, who apparently wants to tell you how much he loved the book too. It's set in the book begins in 1914, and we start with Adelaide telling us that she's setting her parents on fire. She's setting their bodies on fire. They've passed away in a mysterious way. We're not sure exactly what happened, and we're not sure if we can even trust her because here's this woman setting her parents on fire. And she's leaving. She's leaving this all-black town that, in a way, has really been a comfort for her because there's not a lot of racism in the country at the time. I'm saying at the time like that has diminished. But anyway, so she's leaving for Montana. In Montana, she's going because it's the furthest place away she can think of where she's going to be away from humans. She's carrying with her a trunk, a really heavy trunk. And we don't know what's up with the trunk. We just know it's really heavy, and it's a cause of concern. But we're not going to find out what's in it for a while. So in Montana, she thinks she's going to stay away from all human contact, right? And it is possible to do that in Montana, except also not really, because people in faraway places kind of take care of each other because there's so few humans there. The ones that are there, even though they're far away from each other, have to take care of each other. So she ends up reluctantly making friends with a single mother, with a black woman that brews her own beer, and with an Asian woman that's looking for her father. And I love that aspect of this story, that these single women are out in the middle of nowhere and they are finding community with each other. Love that aspect of it. Themes in here are clearly the theme of lone women, this kind of single women trope. And I love the way that was handled because it wasn't heavy-handed. It wasn't a heavy-handed trope. It's kind of very subtle. The story is very slow-paced, extremely slow-paced, character and atmospheric driven. This is all about atmosphere. It is a horror book, so it's very atmospheric. The other really important theme here is that of family, the family that is biological to you, the burdens that come with family, the found family you make, but also that idea of the burdens of family, right? That there's a lot of things that we don't like, but we feel obligated to do because family. At the same time, some of the things, however, that we consider burdens maybe are not burdens. Maybe they shouldn't be thought of as burdens. That is a really important theme here, and I love the way Victor LaValle handled that, right? And so some of these burdens that we carry, we need to rethink them, change our perspective on them because it can change our lives. Like I said, there is it's a horror book. There's a little bit of body horror. It's kind of light though, and I have to admit that I am kind of desensitized to a lot of violence and a lot of horror, in part because I'm a historian and I read a lot of really horrible things and study this really horrible things. But I do think that there's only one scene in here that I found really horrific in terms of body horror, where there's blood being splattered against the walls and on people. But it's I found it to be manageable because of what's causing this. It just made sense. The pace of this story, like I said, is slow but beautiful. Everything in this story is very deliberate and like beautifully organized. If you can handle that slow pace and that kind of just beautiful atmosphere creating with words, I think you will really like this story. And it's not that it's flowery written or poetically written. It's the slow pace that's delicious. Everything that is revealed very intentionally and gives you a piece of the puzzle in a way that is satisfying and yet leaves you wanting more. And you're never at a point in which you feel like you're being tricked or like the author is messing with you, or it's not like twists and turning it, although there are things that are revealed here that are kind of like ooh, it's so deliberately revealed, and things are built on each other so well that I just found it to be really, really delicious. That's such a delicious story. Some content warnings to be aware of in this book of violence, transphobia, racism, and death of parents. So if you can handle those themes, I think you should definitely check out this book, because I found it to be just really, really good, and I'm really grateful that I was able to read it before it came out. If you're watching this video as I'm publishing it, the book is already out. I wasn't able to make this video in time for like the release date, but it's still release week. It's still the first week in which it's released. So you should be able to access it or ask your library to order it, because I think it's one that's worth reading, especially if you like Victor LaValle and or you've been wanting to read something by him. This is his latest book, and it's just really chef's kiss. So with that, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what horror books you recommend. I am really loving horror lately, and kind of delving into some of the intricacies and beauty of horror. I'm not always in the mood for horror, but I am a fan of the genre. So let me know what your recommendations are down below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.